Let's head to the phones and just getting done voting on the House floor. Congressman Jodey Arrington. Congressman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Chad. I'm actually and literally walking down the steps of the Capitol, and again, wish I were in West Texas with you, but here I am, present, ready to speak to my constituents about what's going on in this.
Do you see any Democrats hiding from any votes on ICE? Do you see any Democrats right now hiding from votes?
Well, they had a nice little a show of political theater, which is a par for the course these days from them. But I will tell you, as they chant USA and talk about how unpatriotic and un-American and treasonous, et cetera, hyperbole after hyperbole about this president, I'm wondering how they can say that and yesterday cast a vote of present and not support a resolution that says we stand with our law enforcement, with our ICE agents who actually protect us and from gangs and drugs and exploitation of children and all these things that they do to risk their lives. So, yeah, it's just more Washington political theater, but it's par for the course, as I say, midterm elections.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big news yesterday when it comes to the Farm Bill, and looks like you're going to have a major role to play when it comes to the Farm Bill.
Yeah, I'm really excited and grateful that Speaker Ryan appointed me to the conference committee. That's the committee where we will sort of reconcile the differences between the Senate and House version of the Farm Bill. West Texas has a seat at the table. That's, we say we want to be more than just a vote. Well, we're getting it. We want to be leaders. This is a leadership opportunity to be to speak into what will be the final draft of the Farm Bill before it goes to the president's desk. And we'll use the House bill as the benchmark. We won't get everything we want, but it's life or death, really, to economies like West Texas because of how strong of an ag production region we are. And so, anyway, feel very blessed to be at the table.
Obviously, this is going to be a negotiation between the House and the Senate. What are the sticking points for you?
Well, the number one priority after 3 years of farm income being cut in half, Chad, times are really tough, lowest or steepest decline since the Great Depression. I mean, these are, and then you add the weather challenges with the drought recently. We have to get the safety net and the farm policy side in a place where it's strong and reliable, but also responsible. And I think the House version, and I think the Senate's close to that too. The sticking point's going to be obviously the work requirements for able-bodied adults. It's hard to believe that would be a sticking point, but the Senate didn't put any reforms, welfare to work reforms, on food stamps. And I mean, I'm passionate about that. I think with 7 million surplus jobs, we need to restore a work ethic, the dignity of work in this country, and get out of the welfare state mentality. It's not good for the welfare recipients. I think they've been trapped there by these Obama legacy and progressive Democrat policies. So I don't know how far we get on that, but I'm going to be pushing on it. I'm not going to just be pure looking at just the farm policy side, but that is going to be the fight. That's going to be the challenge.
What is the timeline as of right now?
Well, September, we're going to meet next week. I think the Senate will announce their conferees today, and then next week we'll get started. We want to get it to the president before the due date of September 30th. I think we've got a shot at that. Again, I think we're pretty close on everything except for the food stamp program reforms. Yeah. So hopefully, again, we can get it to the president before then. The president has said that he won't sign a bill that doesn't have some reform to the food stamp program. It's 85% of the Farm Bill funding. It's $70+ billion a year. I'm going to be talking about it publicly and try to put as much pressure politically even on the Democrats and, unfortunately, my Republican colleagues in the Senate just because I believe it's the right thing to do, and the American people support it on all sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah, I know you got another event coming up that you've got to get to, so we got a couple of two more questions for you. The first one is about extending tax cuts. I know the House is discussing this and would like to have another vote maybe in September on this. What would that do?
Well, I think we've seen the results of tax reform and the 30 years in the making of a tax code that doesn't work for the American people, and certainly our economy has been stuck for too long, and we're seeing the stimulus, the right stimulus, not government stimulus, but free market stimulus, where people keep more of their money and invest and save and grow the economy. And so we just need to. But there are plenty of ways to continue to free up the markets, but also make the tax cuts for families and individuals permanent. We needed the Democrats' vote to get there. We couldn't do it. But if we tee that up, I can't imagine if we just went for that as a single shot that they could vote against it. And we need to make it permanent. So lots of good things we could do there. We'll see. But I would go for the permanent individual tax cuts, make them permanent like we did on the business side. That's the right thing to do. We just didn't have the votes, but if we single shot it, it'd be hard for a Democrat to vote against it, for many Democrats to vote against it in a midterm election.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond to a story that, and I've gotten some emails on it as well. It's from the Daily Caller. The headline is, Arrington bill may destroy high-paying veteran jobs in the airline industry. And this bill that apparently is moving through Congress would cut millions of dollars in funding for veteran jobs in aviation. Well, the Daily Caller raises this as a big issue and that it would hurt a lot of jobs. What is your response to it?
They're wrong. That transition assistance for active duty military men and women who are transitioning to veteran status and civilian status, we've got to do some better assessment and prevention from suicide, unemployment, things that cost us a lot more, including in lives. And the bill is actually more than budget neutral. We're going to send some money back to the Treasury. We need to do more bills like that. But one of the pay-fors is what you just is that we're going to put a cap on how much that you can a flight school can charge in tuition and fees for veterans who are getting flight training. Now, we did that on private school tuition and fees because we're not in the business of giving blank checks to colleges so they can just jack up their tuition and fees. So we're just applying that same principle that we did for private universities and colleges to flight schools, and it's good fiscal policy. It's common sense. It was a loophole that needed to be closed, and it's going to save taxpayers millions of dollars. So, I don't know what they're describing it as not good public policy. It's good public policy, and it will help us get good reforms and programs like the TAP bill that we're have passed out of the committee and looking to pass out of the House.
Very good. Congressman, we appreciate you doing a little walking and talking this morning here on the program, and we'll let you get to your next event, and always appreciate it when we hear from you.
Hey, it's hard to project West Texas strength and American power when you're winded just by walking across the street. Is that what you were thinking?
No, I would just, you could just say, it's really windy out here, just like it is in West Texas.
Hey, it's a hot, windy day here in Washington as usual.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, brother, good to visit with you. Thanks for the opportunity, and can't wait to be back home.
All right, Congressman, thank you as always.
You bet. Bye-bye.
That's Congressman Jodey Arrington doing a little walking and talking this morning here on the Chad Hasty Show, KFYO.